Breakfast eggs and potatoes not spicy enough? Need more flavor in your noodles? A nice touch to your burger? The answer to all your problems is arguably the best condiment out there: hot sauce. But how is it prepared? What are the steps for making the perfect hot sauce? Why doesn't homemade hot sauce taste the same? So many questions and no answers. Not anymore though. In today's video, we're gonna walk you through every single step of how the perfect hot sauce is made in factories. So, buckle up and get ready, because it's about to get hot. McElhenny hot sauce. First of all, let's talk about our focus here. Today, we're going to be looking at how McElhenny, an American hot sauce company that's been functional since 1868, prepares its world-famous sauces. One of the signature versions of its most famous sauces is made of Tabasco peppers. But that's not where it ends. Along with Tabasco, the brand also comes in many other spicy and delicious flavors. Most popular ones include chipotle, habanero, and green jalapeno pepper flavors. From pastas to burgers to pizzas to breakfast eggs and potatoes, these sauces are present on almost every dining table, not only in America, but worldwide, and are a part of almost every meal. But where does it start from? What's the first step? Well, since it's hot sauce, of course, the first and key ingredient is peppers. What kind of peppers though? And where are they from? And how are they chosen? And how are they harvested? Pepper selection. Okay, let's slow down. We'll answer every question. For McElhenny hot sauces, the company has lots of pepper fields in Louisiana, Central America, and of course, South America. But in the other pepper fields, the seeds harvested from Louisiana are used because of their unique crop that gives birth to one of the most famous peppers in the world. But it's not like every single pepper grown in that field is good enough or eligible to be added in the hot sauce. They have to pass through a very specific criteria, and the fact that the folks at McElhenny never compromise on quality makes them one of the most famous and successful hot sauce brands in America. The selection starts from carefully chosen pepper plants that are healthy and big enough to give the right amount and quality of product. But who chooses which plant is good enough to make the cut? Well, none other than the owner of the McElhenny hot sauces. He goes through their fields and carefully analyzes and marks each plant that seems healthy enough to be eligible for its peppers to be used. And since plant health and pepper quality is the first priority, instead of using something like spray paint, which might damage the plants with its chemicals, a simple string is used. That's right, folks. The owner marks each plant that seems to have all the right characteristics for a healthy and good quality yield. And after that, the next process is harvesting. Harvesting. But there's another big question. How do you know if a pepper is ready to be plucked off the branch? What's the indication? Each pepper should be ripe and ready and juicy for the sauce. And we all know that McElhenny never compromises on the quality of their products. So, a petite Baton Rouge is used to determine whether the pepper is ready to be plucked off or not. Petite Baton Rouge is basically a small stick with an extremely particular shade of red. Before plucking it off, the workers place it next to every single pepper to see if their shades are similar or not. If they are, then the pepper is ready to go for the next step. And if not, it's left on the branch until it's ripe. Does this take a lot of time? Well, if you think of it, every single pepper selected for the sauce is compared with the Petite Baton Rouge for a color match, and then, if it passes, it gets added to it. Of course, it is time-consuming, but hey, anything for good quality hot sauce, right? After all, they have a reputation to maintain. Crushing. After harvesting all the peppers, they're brought to the factory, and then they get crushed by a machine. Every single pepper is finely crushed until it's in extremely small bits, and then we add more flavor to it. How? Well, first of all, a particular amount of salt is added to the crushed peppers. After grinding the salt thoroughly with the crushed pepper, the mixture is taken to the oak whiskey barrels for fermentation. Fermentation. That's right, folks. fermentation not only helps in letting all the flavors develop as much as they can, but it also plays a key role in the long shelf life of the product too. This is why you can keep your hot sauce out on your table no matter if it's snowing outside or people are having heat strokes. But why are oak whiskey barrels used? Well, the wood allows a particular amount of air to enter in the mixture. And why do we need the air? Because the yeast needs to breathe too. But remember, too much of anything is bad. So, if too much air enters the barrel, well, it goes bad. Instead of the delicious and iconic sweet, sour, and spicy flavor with an unforgettable aroma, all we get is a metallic taste and a discolored paste. After they've put the paste inside a wooden barrel, they cover it with a lid. But this isn't all. Before covering the mash with a lid, they put a layer of paper on it. That's because the top layer of the mixture has more exposure to air than the lower ones. After they put the lid, after covering the mash with the paper, they put some salt on it. And no, you can't eyeball it. There should be a precise amount of salt that is equally spread on the barrel's lid to ensure the seal. But is that all the salt is there for? Nope. The salt comes in handy in the long term. After being taken to the storehouse, the barrels are left there to ferment for a shockingly long yet understandable period of 3 years. And with the passage of time, because of all the carbon dioxide produced by the fermentation, the liquid in the salt and pepper mixture is pushed out through the extremely narrow openings of the lid of the barrel. And what's on top of the barrel evenly spread it into one layer? Salt. After absorbing all the water, the salt solidifies, and at the end, there's a rusty yet hard layer of salt on top of the barrels. After 3 years, the lids are removed and the mixture is taken for further processing. Addition of vinegar. First of all, to add more flavor, vinegar is added and the whole mixture is dumped into a machine. For almost 3 to 4 weeks, the sauce tanks churn the mixture until it's homogeneous. By the time the mixture is done, the vinegar has adapted the color, smell, and taste of the peppers. But wait, what about the seeds of the peppers? For that, the mixture goes through a 2-step milling process. In the first step, the chunks are removed, and in the second one, the seeds are taken out. But how do we know if the sauce is good or not? Well, vinegar acts as a preservative, so we know the sauce isn't going bad anytime soon. And to check the flavor and spices, workers are appointed to taste a sample of every batch. Taste testing. Sounds like a painful job, doesn't it? Honestly, more like a recipe for stomach ulcers. Imagine how many batches of hot sauce are prepared daily and how much sauce is tasted to decide whether it's good enough to make the final cut or not. However, there's an interesting side to it. To make sure that their palate isn't burnt after having hot sauce again and again, the workers are given crackers. Packaging. After that, they're taken for packaging, where an adequate amount of hot sauce is pumped into each bottle. After that, the lids are twisted on the bottles, and at last, the labels are glued onto the bottles. There you have it, the perfect hot sauce. A splash or two enough to bring any dish to life. That's all for today, folks. Click on one of the 2 videos on your screen right now, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.